Alternate Aussizz Education and Migration Group. Today I'm joined with Navjot, who's a Mara agent at our Elizabeth office. We would be discussing everything about ACT today when it comes to migration and their education prospects. So we would be touch basing everything that's there that ACT has to offer to its students or international students over here in Australia itself or from offshore as well. So guys, please stay tuned throughout this session because we would be touch basing what's happening as of now in ACT or in Canberra when it comes to migration. Then what exactly is the Canberra point matrix? Because we know most of the students, they still have confusion how exactly they qualify under a Canberra point matrix. So Navjot would be discussing everything about Canberra point matrix. Then we would be touch basing the critical list that's there. What are the courses that you can do in order to fall under that critical list? What is the recent invitation round and the surrounding regions around Canberra, which are there in NSW, and how they would affect the Canberra point matrix as well, or how they would affect your stay in Canberra. And apart from that, what are the other ways that could help you out to stay or have a bright future in Canberra? So guys, migration would be discussed over here by our Mara, Mr. Navjot. So Navjot, can you tell us what exactly is happening in ACT or in Canberra when it comes to migration at the moment?
Yes, thank you, Aussizz, for the introduction. So before we get started, I just want to say, yep, I am Navjot Singh. I work at Elizabeth branch with Aussizz. And yes, as Aussizz has mentioned, today we'll be discussing about the Canberra Matrix, what is really happening, what the matrix is, how do you get points, and what sort of occupations are they looking for at the moment, and what sort of occupations they can be targeting later on, maybe in the next financial year, depending on the closer regions next to the New South Wales as well. So before we get into detail, I just want to say that for Canberra, with the basic visa that you guys can apply for are 190 and 491, depending on the points that you have. So Canberra, a lot of people get confused in a way that their points are something different for the actual 189, and with the Canberra itself, they have their own metrics. So we can get started on that with the basic eligibility for 491. That is that you need to be working in your occupation for 3 months, and it can be a part-time work as well, which means that you can be working for 20 hours a week, and you need to be doing that continuously to be able to be eligible for 491. For 190, you need to be working full-time. You need to be working for 6 months, so which has more than 35 hours a week. Okay, so different to the normal other states, Canberra actually has a couple of invites throughout their month. So the next actual invite which will be there is actually tomorrow on the 16th of April. So for the nomination processing, it takes roughly around, for critical sectors, roughly takes about 6 weeks. And they charge around $300 for the nomination application. As I said, the processing at the moment, they are mostly doing it for the applications that have been submitted on 1st of April. But they do have some backlog, which obviously they will be nominating. Sometimes what happens is with the nomination or the occupation itself, they do have caps on each and every occupation over the ANSCO group. So for example, let's say registered nurses or ICT business analysts, they have around either 5, 10 caps per month. So whenever the cap is met for that particular month, it automatically resets in the next upcoming month. So that is the way they follow it. But that's okay. We can get started on the critical list first. So just for you guys, that what sort of occupations they are targeting in this financial year or the remaining financial year. So as it can be seen that they follow a lot of people for accountants. They also have most of the registered nurses in their in the critical list as well. Most of the other ones as well, for example, marketing specialist or customer service manager, or most of the ICT as well. When I talk about ICT occupations, it is probably the best for people. A lot of people ask, okay, we have this background and where do we go, right? But for Canberra, it's really good for ICT because every month they have around 40 nominations, just for the IT sector as well. Um, Other than that, there are some trade courses as well, or trade occupations, which are in the critical list. However, we haven't seen in past, that they have got invites. They've got invites for recently for chef, but there is carpenter as well. But carpenter, there haven't been any recent invites. So let's get started with how the Canberra Matrix works. With the Canberra Matrix, the basic criteria, as I've said, that you need to stay there for at least 3 months to be eligible for 491 and 6 months for the 190. However, most of the points that you will make, it will probably take you about a year to kind of come around 60, 70 part, depending on which occupation you are, depending on whether you're not actually working in your occupation or not. For the people who sometimes they're not able to find work in their own occupation, that is something which kind of puts off with a lot of other state nominations. For example, Victoria or New South Wales, most of the criteria that they have is you need to finish your study and you need to be working in your occupation. So with AC, with the Canberra itself, with the Canberra Matrix, they are a bit flexible in that way. So let's get started before we get too much into it. So with the resident criteria, so if you live there between 1 to 2 years, you get 5 points. If you have English, which is 7 each, you get 10 points. And if you have superior English, which is 8 each, you get 15 points for that. It's also beneficial for the people who have spouses as well. Usually what happens is with normal 189, 190 or 491, if you have a spouse, they need to be, either they need to have 6 each, or they need to have the skill assessment as well. Otherwise, if you're single, you get 10 points for that. However, Canberra kind of has advantage for the people who are, who do have a spouse. So if your spouse has, let's say, 7 each or 8 each, you can get 5 points for that as well. Other thing is that you get points for employment. So if you work for 6 to 12 months, you get 5 points for that. If you work more than that, you get 10 points. One thing to note there is that you do not need to be working in your own occupation for that particular point. You can be working in any occupation, and it can be a 20-hour as well. So this is actually really good for the people who are, on student visa or something, or they are on temporary resident. Sometimes people are not able to find full-time work straight away, but this is something that you can still get points on. Next thing for the main applicant, if your occupation is in the critical list, you get 20 points for that. If it's not there, then you don't get points for that. Next thing is if you are working in your own occupation, you get 20 points for that. However, if you're not able to find work in your own occupation, but you are working in a occupation which is still in the critical list, you still get points for that. So sometimes people do get, it is like a beneficial thing for them. Other thing for the employment one is that if you, let's say, you're not able to find work in your own occupation and you're not able to find work in your critical list as well. However, you found work which comes under skill level 1, 2, 3. So that still kind of gives you 5 points. So as long as you're working, you will get some points towards your Canberra Matrix itself.
So it's much easier to stay in Canberra. So as long as an international student, I'm staying over there,
yeah,
I'm working over there, I would still qualify for
Exactly.
the points that I have. And the plus point is if I have a spouse, and
Yeah.
let's assume that spouse doesn't have any qualification that can
Yeah.
be assessed, still in Canberra, if that spouse can get 7 each, that I can still claim points for my spouse.
Yeah.
So that's an upper edge for all the people who are married or have a spouse to move on to Canberra and gather those points as and when they can.
Yeah, definitely. So spouse, they actually do really benefit you in Canberra if they are able to, do as much as they can. With the working itself. So, for example, we talked about the English part of it, and also if they're working in an occupation as well, that actually gives you 5 points as well. So it's actually really beneficial for a lot of people. Next thing that we can talk about is your degree. Obviously, some people, they have bachelor level or they have master level, so you get around 15 points for that as well. And one thing I want to touch for the people who, this is for the people who have so this is for the people who have just finished their student visa or they are finishing their temporary resident as well, so temporary resident visa. So this kind of benefits in both ways. So for the people who who do IT engineering or accounting as well, if you do your professional year from there, ACS is the only state which actually gives you points for studying professional year there. So this is really beneficial for the people who actually have they have the opportunity to do a professional year. As you guys are aware that you can do professional year in any state. However, you can only get points for that in the actual but with Canberra Matrix, so if you study for 1 year, it doesn't have to be professional year as well, but also professional year will help as well. So it can be another diploma level course just for yourself. Like for example, you may not be able to find a job straight away whenever you finish, right? So you may be trying to study something to kind of develop
your knowledge and your communication skill. Let's assume, suppose I'm an accountant, okay, I want to move on to a leadership roles. I can opt for leadership management courses, or I'm an IT person, I want to upgrade my qualification, or I want to upskill my knowledge. I can move on to project management courses, or I'm a tradesperson and I want to upskill my qualification. So I can opt for any qualification, irrespective of the fact whether it's related or not, unless and until it's affecting, helping me out.
Exactly.
I would still be able to claim points for it.
Exactly. So as Ash mentioned, it's really beneficial for the people who are upskilling themselves. Even if they don't really have to study, but some people generally want to study and they want to target, management positions or, just to understand different parts of management, leadership management, or even project management, which can be helpful for engineers, for instance, as well. So you can get study points there as well. So as I mentioned, 1 year study will give you 5 points. If you study for 2 years, you get 10 points for that as well. With the Canberra Matrix, it is a bit of a complicated thing for me to actually tell you guys on the live. So if you guys want a bit more clear on how many points you guys are at, you are more than welcome to give us a call anytime. And we'll be able to tell your, Canberra Matrix eligibility, how many points you are at, and what will be your scenario in next 1 year or next 2 years itself as well. Other thing which can be beneficial as well, sometimes you may be able to make some points for yourself right now, but if you're taking your spouse with you as well, and they may be there studying as well, after 2 years when they finish their studies, they have another occupation which is open to them, and the length of the time, the work time, everything has increased by that time as well. So you guys are more than welcome to speak to us about it, and we'll be able to give you a clear point breakdown for yourself. So so that's
that is a very, I think that is a very detailed explanation when it comes to Canberra Point Matrix. So guys, as per my understanding, the longer you are staying, or more practically you are staying, or more genuinely you're interested in staying in Canberra, more chances of you are there to get your better points in the Canberra point matrix. So if you're staying longer, you're working genuinely, want Canberra to be the place of your residence, then in that case, I would suggest just move there, gather the points, go with the flow, and work as hard as you can over there. Get an occupation. It being the capital city, I think there are a lot of good occupations that are available to all the students and to everybody who's looking to upskill their knowledge. They also have major universities over there. So they have University of Canberra. Now, there are students who are looking forward to go ahead with Masters by Research programs or master level programs over there in University of Canberra, ACU. Now, these universities, they have a lot of bachelor level programs and master level programs as well. However, not every single program is being offered in Canberra at the moment. When it comes to most popular courses, yes, they do offer teaching courses as well. And as Navjot said, teaching is open and teaching is there in the critical list as well. So they do have bachelors of bachelors of primary and secondary teaching available with Canberra, University of Canberra. So it's a 4 years qualification, and you can go ahead and claim your scholarships as well with those universities. Now, another point that's there is in case you're looking to work in a community sector, because COVID has somehow changed everybody's mindset altogether. So most of the people, they are preferring to give back to community at the moment. So we have seen a lot of changes happening with students. They're genuinely looking to study nursing courses or community service courses in order to help the community. So in case you are studying in Canberra, Diploma of Community Service course as well, then you might get yourself a job or an occupation as a youth worker. Now, if you're working as a youth worker, that's another critical occupation that's there in the Canberra Point Matrix. Yeah. Now, with just 2 years of study, along with your stay over there, you can get another occupation that can help you out in your future, in securing a good job, in securing a future pathway for you. So there are different courses that are readily available in Canberra for you to study. There's also a very popular course, Masters of Data Science, that's available with University of Canberra. Now, again, data science gets assessed in different occupations. There's also Masters of Teaching. However, the Masters of Teaching courses, the next intakes that are available are generally Feb. So every year, Feb intakes are available. But in case you're not looking to study Masters, which is a 2-year study, you can actually go ahead and study 1-year program. So we, as far as I remember, teaching occupation, they need at least 4 years of qualification, out of which 1 year need to be in higher education. So very real scenario, one of our students studied over here with RMIT University, graduate diploma for early childhood education. He really loved Canberra so much while he was traveling that he wanted to work over there. Now, genuinely, while working over there, he got a job, and within 3 months, he had his entire future pathway ahead of him in Canberra, though his qualification was not completed in Canberra. Canberra is looking for very genuine students that can study with them, have a longer duration of stay with them. So in case you or your spouse are looking forward to study in Canberra or looking forward to have a greater future in Canberra, you can contact any of our migration agents. Now, they are very well qualified, they have entire knowledge, and I think now Jyoth has explained the Canberra Point Matrix in such a detailed manner. Now, even I can recall that. So still, if you guys are confused when it comes to Canberra Point Matrix or what is the beneficial way for you to, what are the courses that are available for you to study in ACT, please do contact our education counselors and our migration agent. However, when it comes to PY, guys, we do have a dedicated team that's there to help you out. And you are looking, if in case you're looking to do your PY, be that in engineering or IT, please do come and contact us. We can help you out with that because ACT is the only state that can help you or that can help you gather more points even when you are studying your PY. So no other state is considering the PY at the moment except ACT. So you have a very good option when it comes to studying PY in ACT itself. Now, apart from that, guys, there are trade courses that are there as well in the critical list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think the most popular one is chef.
Yeah, chef. Yeah.
So, guys, chef is again a very popular course that's there. Hairdressing is another, but we haven't seen much of the movement in hairdressing.
Yeah.
But chef, yes, definitely. We have seen a lot of students genuinely looking to study cookery courses. So in order to be a chef, you need to study Certificate 3, 4 in commercial cookery, and then do your job ready program, which is technically for a year. as to where you would be working as a chef, or you would be upskilling your practical knowledge as a chef to prove that yes, you are genuinely a chef and you have that skill and knowledge to work as a chef in future industry. So these courses, they are available in Canberra with CIT as well. So CIT is the Canberra TAFE, that is Canberra Institute of Technology, which is basically a TAFE in Canberra. This course is available over there, and you can study these courses even on your TR. So in case you are on your temporary residency and you're looking to study these courses, you can do these. You can study these courses with them as well. Another point that I really liked, which Navjot pointed out, was in case you have studied anywhere, you have studied these courses anywhere, be that Victoria, New South Wales, Adelaide, Perth, you still can do your job ready in Canberra.
Yep.
And even that is beneficial for you.
Yes. So at the moment, recently with the critical list, there has only been chef and carpenter at the moment. Unfortunately, we haven't seen carpenter invitations in past 1 or 2 months. That may be because at the moment they're not meeting that criteria, or there's not many applications at the moment as well. But as Aksh mentioned as well, that people can study something somewhere else. They can move to Canberra and they can actually do their job ready program there as well. So, for example, a chef doing a job ready program there, not only at the end of it you will get your skill assessment, you will also meet your living criteria, you will also meet your employment criteria, your occupation is in the list as well, and you're working in the list as well. So it's easy to actually gather a lot of points in there. Last invitations, which was actually done on 9th April for chef, it was done on 60 points for 491. So yeah, so 60 points, it's probably done within a year. So basically, if you just do your job ready program there and you study something else as well, obviously it could even be an advanced diploma in hospitality management or something. But yes, chef has been they got it at 60 points. For 190, they got it at 90 points. Recent other occupations that they've got invitations in is registered nurses as well at 70 points for 491 and 85 points for 190. There are some other occupations related to the software or ICT, roughly around 60, 70 or 75 points for 491. And also the accountants as well. So at the moment, as you guys are aware, 189 for accountants, it is a bit difficult. We all know that. But ACT is actually inviting people as well. No doubt the point is a bit high as well. Obviously, we know that, but there has still been invitations for 491 and actually 190 as well, which is very good for people who actually have done accounting and they're trying to study and upskill themselves as well.
I think it's a very good way for accountants, because technically an accounting occupation or an accountant, even if you have done Masters of Professional Accounting, you have different options available that you can study. So when it comes to master's level, you can actually study Masters of Business Administration. You can study Masters of Business Administration in Human Resource, or you can actually study Masters of Business Administration in International Business as well. There is Finance MBA as well that's available. So if you are an accountant and you're looking to study or upskill your knowledge, you can go ahead with master level programs. There are also graduate diploma level programs, but there are very few graduate diploma level programs which are for 1 year that are available with universities. Sorry about that, guys. I think we are having a technical problem because of yes. So accountants can actually go ahead and upskill their knowledge at any given point of time. We do have seen accountants who are actually pretty interested in teaching. So they were very much interested in teaching secondary students or secondary school students. So they're having accountants who have actually studied Masters of Teaching in secondary. Now, those intakes are generally available in Feb 2022 of every year, and their entry requirements are pretty strict as well. So the entry requirement for a teaching level course is 7887 in IELTS, in which 8 needs to be in listening and speaking specifically. However, this course, after completion of this course, you can get your qualification assessed as a teacher as well. Yeah. So you're not only upskilling your knowledge, you're not only getting a better job opportunity, but you would have 2 qualifications, an open pathway, an open future for you, where you can pave yourself into any direction you want. You can be an accountant, or you can actually go ahead and teach the students as well. In case you're not looking to study a master level course or a bachelor level course, you can go ahead and study diploma level courses as well. So there are short-term courses like leadership courses, business courses, which can help you gain those specific key points when it comes to management. So in leadership courses, generally they cover out how you would be taking care of a team altogether, or how you would be progressing in a management level. So that's not entirely an MBA, but it's very specific in case you want to progress yourself or go up the hierarchy in a management-related environment. So in case you are looking to upskill that, you can opt for those courses. And these courses are generally available for a 1-year duration. So it's not even much. You can study over there and qualify for the Canberra Point Matrix. I think we have covered a lot when it comes to Canberra. We have covered what exactly is the point matrix, what is the critical occupation list that's there, what are the points that are currently that you're looking for. And I think most of the people, we have also covered certain occupations which most of the people are not even aware of, like community youth worker, community service worker, disability support worker. Now, after completion of your diploma of community services, you can directly get your qualification assessed. Now, these courses, they are at diploma level, but they do involve practical component associated with these courses as well. So even in your practicals, or even in your placement component, you can go ahead and have a word with employer. And they are readily looking for students who actually want to give back to community and work with them. So guys, it's a very good opportunity for you to understand what exactly Canberra has to offer to you. So please do get in touch with our migration agent, Mr. Navjot, and he would be able to answer all your queries. You can also leave your comments, and we will get back to you definitely in those comments, and we would be answering to every single comment that's there. Still, if you have any more questions, please do give us a call. And you can call our Elizabeth office. We would be open to answer. We can book an appointment for you in case you have you want to meet us at specific time. In case you're not able to meet, we do have a virtual sessions available. So in case you're available, you can book a Zoom session with us. So we are there to help you out, and we would be able to assist you in every single possible manner that you want. So guys.
Thank you, Aksh. Yeah, so as she mentioned that we do offer virtual as well. So I'm very comfortable with doing phone or face-to-face Zoom consultations as well. Just because I'm able to explain the criteria better. I do like face-to-face more than the actual phone consultations, to be honest. It's just that sometimes they have a lot of questions, and it's better to actually have when you have face-to-face, or if it's more suitable for you guys, we can do Zoom consultations as well. We can actually share screen. I can actually show you what the scenario is, what sort of invitations, and we can actually make a proper pathway for that. So before we go on, I just want to touch base on a couple of other things as well. With Canberra, as you guys are aware, that is a capital city of Australia, right? So they are trying to develop it as much as they can, And what is happening recently is, as you guys are aware, with New South Wales, they have opened their regional development areas as well. So all the regional development areas are bringing their new occupation list as well, which they will be targeting for the rest of the financial year and hopefully the next financial year as well. So I will quickly just talk about a couple of the occupations that are close by from ACT. So, for example, Riverina, Southern Inland, and Far South Coast, which are on the borders of ACT. This can kind of give you guys an indication on that the areas which are next to ACT, they are trying to develop. And the occupations which are listed in these regional development areas are much more broader than the ACT list right now. Keep in mind that ACT only has a critical list right now, so they can actually bring a new list later on in the next financial year. We will have to wait and watch. I can just quickly go over the occupations which are given in the other region areas. So in Riverina, they have brought up cafe, restaurant manager, they have accountants as well, early childhood, and a lot of other trade courses are available as well. For example, mechanic, carpentry, bakery, and even pastry cook there as well. Southern Inland has pretty much all the nursing occupations, teaching, pretty much most of the ICT occupations as well, and even trade occupations, for example, carpenter, panel beater, chef, cook, baker, and even plumbing, which is a bit difficult, which not many people choose, to be honest. The last one I would talk about is far south coast. So they have similar occupations as well. For example, cafe, cafe, restaurant manager, account. One thing with this regional development area is that they have more accounting occupations as well, which is very surprising that a lot of people are not having it. So they have internal auditor as well, accounting occupations as well. They have nurses, pretty much everything, and as again the trade courses, again the carpentry, panel beater, chef, baker, and pastry cook as well. So in a way, this can give you guys an indication that the surrounding area of ACT are bringing these occupations in the list. So it is a bit likely that in future, if you guys are planning to study something related to trade, it could be pastry as well, could be baking, could be chef, carpentry, bricklaying. This is something that can be found in the list later on as well. Yes. So thank you guys for watching. You want to say something?
Thank you, guys. I think we have covered a lot, and the last point was actually very important as well, because Canberra has a lot to offer, and if their surrounding suburbs have so much to offer, I'm pretty sure that's going to influence Canberra. And with the accountants being there as the hot topic today, yeah, I think Canberra and the surrounding suburbs are really looking forward to a lot of accountants over there. So, guys, you have a lot of options available when it comes to education per se as well in ACT, and I think with ACT being the capital city, they are going to develop a lot further in the future as well. So it's a very good scope that you have over there, and with every state changing their norms, every state having very limited occupations available, every state having very restrictive educational qualifications available, or not every regional state having a lot of qualifications available, ACT still has a lot to offer to their students. So guys, please, if we have missed onto something, get in touch with us and we would be able to assist you out in a better manner. We have one-on-one consultations, and as Navjot said, we would love to meet you, because in that case, even you guys would be much comfortable to discuss all your queries. And we are open to book in appointments with our migration agents as well as our education consultants, and we will be there to assist you out in future. Guys, please drop in your questions and we will help you. Take care till then, guys. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.